In this video, we'll be looking at a second method to solve this particular question. All right. We already solved this question in our previous video. I'll leave a link in the video description. And we got the answer as 2.30 kilometers. And I said for this particular video, I'll be showing you how to use a second method called the head-tail method or the parallelograms law of vectors in solving this particular question. All right. So let's see how we can solve this question using the head-tail method or the parallelograms law of vectors. All right. Now, how do we do this? The question again says a sailboat leaves a harbor and sails 1.80 kilometers in the direction that is 65 degrees south of east, where the captain stops for lunch. A short time later, the boat sails 1.10 kilometers in the direction 15 degrees north of east. What is the magnitude of the resultant displacement from the harbor? All right, so you have your options. Now let's use a second method. So solution, let's look at a second method, method 2. All right, method 2. This is parallelograms law, using parallelograms law of vectors. All right, so how do we solve this using parallelograms law of vectors? What do we do? The first thing we'll do here is to try to sketch these particular coordinates. Now, they said a sailboat leaves a harbor and sails 1.80 kilometers in the direction 65 degrees southeast. So let's get 65 degrees southeast. We want to get this. So I'll do this one first, starting from here. Then we'll do this one here. All right. So when we say southeast, this is north, this is south, this is east. So southeast would be this point here. So have this way, here. All right, this is 65 degrees. So 6 and 5 degrees. 65 degrees south of east. And the value there's about 1.80 kilometers. That here is 1.8. Okay, let me write this 1.8 kilometers. So this is 1.8 kilometers. We have this. All right. That's the first thing you do. The next thing you do is that would use something called the head tail method. So where this stops, of course, I'm moving this way to this point. That's here. Now, where this one stop, I'll create a second coordinate, something from here. Take this here. That's this, and then this, and then this. So basically, I'm creating a second coordinate from where this first coordinate stops. Okay. The second coordinate says 1.10 kilometers in the direction 15.0 northeast. So from here, I would go northeast. So this is north, this is south, this is east. So when they say northeast, literally I'm looking at. All right, so let's get 1.1. I'm going to draw this way, somewhere around here. Now note that this is not drawn to scale. All right. The next point, there's 1.1 kilometers, 1.1 kilometers, and 1.1 should be smaller than 1.8, but this is not drawn to scale. All right, the angle there, it's let's see again, 65 and 15 degrees Celsius. That's 15 degrees. So I have this as 15 degrees. So I have this. Okay, so I now have this as this. Now the method we'll be using here is called the head tail method, which means for us to get the vector here to the tail of the first one, we'll join a line this way to the head of the second one here. Right, so we'll do this. So this is what will give us the resultants. That's R here. All right, so that's how you draw this basically. All right, from the first diagram, you draw 65 degrees south of east to this point. Where it stops, you take that as the center for your second coordinate, and you draw northeast 15 degrees this way. So you have this. Now, the line that joins the first to the second here is the resultant. Now, why we call this parallelograms law is that if you look at this critically, you can see that from here I can form a parallelogram like this. If I draw this way, and I draw this way. So you can now see my parallelogram. That's this going from this way to this way, and then this way to this way. So that's why we call it parallelograms law of vectors. But I've already discussed this parallelograms law in my previous class or previous videos. All right, I'll leave a link to the class on parallelograms law in the video description. Okay. All right, so we have this. So how do we solve, or how do we get the resultant of this question using parallelograms law of vectors? What do we do? Now, the first thing we want to do is that we want to get the angle that is opposite the resultant. All right, so we have our resultant here, and we want to get the angle, that's this angle here, the angle this way here, which is opposite the resultant. And how do we get the value of that angle? What do we do? Now, we want to focus on this part here, this part of the diagram that involves northeast. Looking at this diagram critically, you can see that we have this angle here, which is a right angle. And we know that for a right angle, the value is 90 degrees. So hence, the sum of this angle here, 15, plus this other angle here, this one here, let's call this x. So we know that if we sum the value of x and 15, would have 90 degrees. So with this information, let's get the value of x. Now, to get the value of x, we know that x plus 15 degrees, it's equal to 90 degrees. That's a right angle. So x now will be equal to 90 minus 15 degrees. And if I work on this, x will be equal to 75 degrees. So with this, we've gotten the value of x here as 75 degrees. Also, coming back to this other part here, which is this, you want to observe that we want to get this angle. Let's call this angle y. Now, here's what we know. For y, you want to observe that we do not have this other angle here, this one that's shaded here. We do not have this angle. But then, looking at this diagram, we can see that this line, this one here, is parallel to this line, this one here. So hence, we can say that this angle here, 65, is the same thing as this angle here, 65 here. All right, 65 degrees. They are called alternate angles. All right, so the angle here, it's equal to the angle here because they are alternate angles. Now, having this spot here, 65, again, looking at this diagram critically, we can see that this angle here, this one here, is about 90 degrees. That means from here, if I sum the value of y plus this angle here, which is 65 degrees, 65, my answer will be equal to 90 degrees. That's another right angle. From here, y will be equal to 90 minus 65. And from here, that value, if I do 90 minus 65, I have my answer as 25 degrees. So y is equal to 25 degrees. With these two values, that's x and y, we can now get the value or the total angle opposite the resultant force, which is, or opposite the resultant, which is this angle here. So this whole angle here is equal to the value of x plus the value of y, which is simply equal to 75 plus 25. And that's equal to 100 degrees. So that's the value of the angle opposite the resultant. All right, so now we have the value opposite the resultant. We'll now use to solve questions using parallelograms law of vectors. We'll need to use the concept of the cosine rule. So using cosine rule, now just a reminder, let's state cosine rule again. For cosine rule, we have that the resultant squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab, then cosine of theta. This is cosine rule. From here, r squared, which is your resultant, is equal to a is simply, we can call this side a, let's call this a. So a is 1.8. Let's call this b. So b is 1.1. So a is 1.8, b is 1.1. Because a squared becomes 1.8 squared plus b squared becomes 1.1 squared. That's a squared plus b squared minus 2 into a. A is 1.8. B is 1.1, then cosine of theta. Now the angle theta here represents the angle opposite the resultant, and that's why we had to find the angle opposite the resultant first. Okay, the angle opposite the resultant as we got here is 100 degrees. So that means theta it's equal to 100 degrees. This is 100. So we have this. All right, so I'll just get my calculator and punch these values one after the other. So r squared is equal to, let's get the value of 1.8 squared. If we do 1.8 squared, what do we have there? This becomes 1.8 squared. That's about 3.24. So 3.24 plus, let's get 1.1 squared. That would give you 1.21. So 1.21 minus, the next thing we want to get here, I would point the value of 2 times 1.8 times 1.1. So 2 times 1.8 times 1.1, and that will give you 3.96 as your value. Next up, we'll punch the value for cosine of 100. If you punch cos 100 in two decimal places, you have your answer as minus 0.17. So I have this. All right, let's proceed from this. Let's proceed from this. From here, we'll have that r squared, it's equal to, I'll take these two values first, which is 3.24 plus 1.21. 3.24 plus 1.21, that gives you about 4.45 in value. Okay. Next up, we can see that you have minus times minus, all right? And we know that minus minus gives us positive, that's plus. We want to punch 3.96 multiplied by 0.17. 3.96 multiplied by 0.17 in two decimal places gives you 0.67. That's the value. All right, let's now add these two values. So we have that the value of the resultant, so r squared, it's equal to 4.45 plus 0.67. And if you punch that, your value would give you about 5.12. 5.12. Let's get the value of r. To get r here, we'll take the square root. The square root of 5.12. And if I do that, we'll have the r, it's equal to the square root of 5.12. That's about 2.26 in kilometers approximately. Now, don't forget that our value or the value of r was given in one decimal place. So if I approximate this to one decimal place, we'll have that r approximately would be 2.30 in kilometers. So basically, you can confirm that we have the same answer as we had in our previous class. All right, so if you look at the option, the answer still remains option A, 2.30 kilometers. So basically, this is how you can solve this question using parallelogram's law of vectors, okay? Now, don't forget that we've also treated parallelogram's law of vectors in our previous class. If you missed that class, I'll leave a link to that video in the video description, all right? All right, guys, so here's number two. Question number two, solve this question and leave your answer in the comment section. The question here says, a particle undergoes two displacements. The first displacement has a magnitude of 150.0 centimeters and it is directed 30.0 degrees north of west. The resultant displacement has a magnitude of 100.0 centimeters and it is directed 60.0 degrees north of east. Find the magnitude of the second displacement. So you have your options here. Now you solve this question, leave your answer in the comment section, and I will tell you if you're correct or not. All right. All right, guys. So if you enjoyed this video as usual, do also hit the like button, like this video. Also leave a comment. All right. For your comment, I gave you a task, which is to solve question 2 and leave your answer in the comment section, and I will tell you if you're correct or not. Don't forget to also subscribe. If it's your first time here or you're yet to subscribe, please do well to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and select all so that you get notified whenever we upload new content. And then finally, do well to share this video to your friends so that they can also learn. Thank you and see you in our next class.